Immersive reading has become one of my favorite ways to read books. Hey book besties, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking all about immersive reading. So if you're curious about it, have not heard about it, and just wondering what it means, or have heard about it but not really sure how to get into it, stick around, we're going to chat all about it. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more book content. I love sharing reading roundups, book unboxings, book hauls, recommendations, and just all the bookish things. So make sure you're following along. So, what is immersive reading? Immersive reading is when you are listening to an audiobook while reading along with your eyes. Whether you're using a physical book or an ebook, it's all immersive reading. And pretty much what it does is it just puts you into a different sensory experience where you're hearing the audio narrator read the book, and you're following along in the pages. And there's just something about it that can make you feel more locked into the book. And I have found it's just such a great way to really connect you to the story. So for me as a reader, I have anxiety, and so sometimes I cannot drown out the intrusive thoughts while I'm reading. And it's just something that I have to deal with. It's fine, whatever. But when I do immersive reading, the double sensory of using my eyes and using my ears helps my brain just kind of shut off. I can really just lock in, stay focused, be in the story, and it helps me really connect to it a whole lot deeper than it would if I was just listening to it or just reading with my eyes. And one thing I will say too is that because I'm listening and looking with my eyes, I can read books faster. So if you're somebody who has a long TBR or you don't have a whole lot of time to read, immersive reading can really help you get through a book faster just because you're able to do two things at once. So I'm following along as it's reading and I'm able to retain more of the information than if I were to listen to it really fast on 2x speed or something. But when I'm doing an immersive audio, I can listen at 3x speed most of the time. Now, I will say that probably depends on the genre. I mostly have been immersive reading romances and thrillers, particularly romances. I feel that's usually my immersive reading experience, but I have done a little bit with thriller. And with a romance, I feel like it's easier to kind of read it faster. I think it'd be a little different maybe with romantasy, just because you kind of have to be really locked in and paying attention to some things. So I think it depends, but I mean, with anything, you have to put the audiobook speed at something that's comfortable for you, where you can retain the information. So let's talk about some tips for immersive reading, because when you think about it, if you're wanting to be immersive reading, that's like buying the same book twice. So I don't do that usually, but there are tons of ways that you can do that without having to buy the book twice. There are a couple ways that I like to do it. First of all, I have a Spotify account where I get 15 free audiobook listening hours a month, and I max that out every month. I take advantage of that. So sometimes I don't get to read 2 full books in a month, but I can usually split it up between months and use it that way. And that's I don't actually pay for it. We get that free with my husband's work, so it's free for me, which is great. But if you're already paying for Spotify anyway, take advantage of that benefit. One way you can get it for free is if you can use your Libby or Hoopla apps. Both are connected to your local library. I do a lot actually with my Libby apps. I've actually kind of shifted my process with Libby. I used to always take out ebooks from Libby, but now I strictly do audiobooks because I've been doing a lot more immersive reading. So I have all these audiobooks on hold for books on my shelf or on my Kindle that I want to read. And when the audio comes through, I can do an immersive read, and it's free. And I did just get a Hoopla account. I haven't had one before because my county doesn't subscribe to Hoopla or whatever, but I did get an account through my stepson, so that was great because he lives in a different county. Another way, if you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, some books on KU come with the audio version. So if you go on KU and you're looking at Kindle Unlimited books, you know how on the bottom it'll say Kindle Unlimited. If the audio is included, there will be a little headphone symbol next to Kindle Unlimited. So when you check out that book on KU, you can also download the Audible version of the book, and you can do both at the same time. That is fantastic because I've even gotten the audio version just to have the audio. Like I didn't need the ebook, like I might have had the physical book and I just wanted the audio version. So that's a good way to get that as well. And then of course there are audiobook subscription services. So Audible is one, Everand, I don't know, I know there's a bunch of them. But if you are somebody who wants to do a lot of audiobook reads, you can do one of those subscription services. And so you are technically paying for the book, but usually at a lower price. Audible does run sales a lot. Like there've been audiobooks that I've gotten because I had like the 99 cents per month for 3 months. And so I paid for 99 cents for an audiobook, which is great. So that's a good way to do it too. But otherwise, I think even the regular Audible subscription is a lot of times less than what the audiobook would be if you bought it like right out. And Audible always is doing deals too. Sometimes they do their 2 books for 1 credit, which is great. You can use one of your credits to get 2 books from like a selected list. They do sales a lot, which is great as well. But also there's a hack I recently learned about. If you check out a book on KU that doesn't include the audio, they might discount the audiobook on Audible. So if you just go in, if you have KU, download a book you want on KU, and then go back to Audible and see if that audiobook is less. I just did this with the book Bourbon and Proof. I like downloaded the ebook on Kindle Unlimited and then went over to Audible and it was discounted for the audiobook for like $5. And like, I don't mind spending like $5 on an Audible book because it's money, but it's still like pretty cheap. So yeah, I don't mind doing stuff like that every now and then because they do have good sales sometimes. So that's a good way to do it. So one of my big tips if you are wanting to do more audiobook listening is to get yourself a pair of comfortable headphones. These ones are over the ear ones. They have these cushions on them. There's a cushion on the top here. Super comfy. I used to just use my little like earbuds and that can get super uncomfortable. But something like this where you're going to be wearing it for like a couple hours or something, it's just so much better. And I like these because they don't have to have the noise canceling. I don't want noise canceling. Like that is not my thing. I need to be able to hear what's going on in case like my kids wake up or whatever. So I got these on Amazon. I will link them in the description box below. I've had these for, I don't know, I bought them last year, so probably 6 months now. They've held up really well. I love them. As you become like comfortable reading more audiobooks, you're going to find certain narrators that you like more than others. So definitely like keep track of like who you like and who maybe you don't like, because if there's like audiobook narrators you just don't jive with, then you know not to get an audiobook from a certain narrator just because you don't jive with them. And that's totally okay. Not every narrator is for you. So definitely kind of keep an eye out on who you like. There's one narrator who like I love her voice. Like it's actress Christine Lakin, and so I listened to her podcast before like I ever even got started in reading, and I just loved like listening to her voice. It's so like soothing, and she does audiobooks and I love every audiobook she's done. So I always look for books that she's narrated, and it's a great experience. So that can really help you with your experience in listening to books. And to piggyback off that, there are times where you are not going to like a narrator or you are not going to like how the book is read. And honestly, if you're not liking how a book is being read, just don't keep going with it because it could ruin the experience of reading the book for you. So just pick up the regular book and ditch the audio. That's fine. And I will say that sometimes if you're reading a physical book and you're like kind of not connecting with it, try the audio because sometimes the audio can really elevate the experience. So it really is just about like learning like different things that work for you, different things that don't work for you, because at the end of the day, it's all about your experience. And one of the cool things about Audible, I don't know if there are other platforms that do this, but you can return an audiobook if it is just not working for you. So if you use your credit for an audiobook and you do not like the narrator, you're having a hard time getting into the book, you can reach out to Amazon and they will get you back a credit. So that's a really great way to do that. So that is everything you need to know about immersive reading. I will say, like, I never really thought that this would be something that I would be into, but it has become something I love doing. It's just elevated the experience for me, and it's helped me get through books that I've been wanting to read because I have such a big physical TBR or any TBR, Kindle, whatever. I want to read so many books and I enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's such a great way to read books. If you have any other questions about immersive reading, drop them in the comments because I'm happy to answer them. And if you have any other tips about immersive reads for other people, definitely drop those in the comments as well. Thanks for watching, besties. I'll see you next time.